Assalamualaikum. We are Group 3 from 10th grade MIPA1 will present our work on plate tectonics.
Hello everyone, my name is Aura Tuljanazara, you can call me Aura. I am from grade 10 Science 1. Here I will present about the theory of tectonic plates and the chemical formula of rocks and minerals. Tectonic plates theory. The theory put forward by Tozo Wilson around 1965 that the Earth crust in coefficient of survival tectonic plates that are above the asthenosphere layers, and the plates that make up the Earth crust are always moving because of the influence and convection currents from the asthenosphere layers. The movement of these tectonic plates can be divided into three types based on their direction.
The main principle of plate tectonic theory is that the Earth is made of moving planes. The existence of this plane movement is caused by presence of convection current, which are in the form of transfer of heat energy that occur in the atmosphere layer. Because all the planes move, there is interaction between one plane and another. The interaction is current along the plane's boundary. According to this theory, there are 13 large and small planes that make up in this Earth. The plate tectonic theory is indeed developing and receiving wide attention among geologists. This theory has indeed made a very big contribution in this scientific field, especially for the development of human civilization, of which one is in our country, Indonesia.
What are the different types of plate tectonic boundaries? There are three kinds of plate tectonic boundaries: divergent, convergent, and transform plate boundaries. The Earth's lithosphere, which includes the crust and upper mantle, is made up of a series of pieces, or tectonic plates that move slowly over time. Divergent plate boundary. A divergent boundary occurs when two tectonic plates move away from each other. Along these boundaries, earthquakes are common and magma rises from the Earth's mantle to the surface, solidifying to create new oceanic crust. The Mid-Atlantic ridge is an example of divergent plate boundaries. When two plates come together, it is known as a convergent boundary. The impact of the colliding plates can cause the edges of one of both plates to buckle up into a mountain range, or one of the plates may bend down into a deep seafloor trench. A chain of volcanoes often form parallel to convergent plate boundaries, and powerful earthquakes are common along these boundaries. The Pacific Ring of Fire is an example of a convergent plate boundary. Second, convergent plate boundaries are locations where lithospheric plates are moving towards one another. The plate collisions that occur in these areas can produce earthquakes, volcanic activity, and cluster deformation. Convergent plate boundary. Oceanic and continental plates. When continental and oceanic plates collide, the thinner and more dense oceanic plate is overridden by the thicker and less dense continental plate. The oceanic plate is forced down into the mantle in a process known as adaptation. As the oceanic plate descends, it is forced into higher temperature environments. At a depth of about 100 miles, 160 kilometers, materials in the subduction plate begin to approach their melting temperatures, and a process of partial melting begins. Convergent plate boundary. Oceanic. When a convergent boundary occurs between two oceanic plates, one of those plates will subduct beneath the other. Normally, the other plate will subduct because of its higher density. The subducting plate is headed as it's forced deeper into the mantle, and at the depth of about 100 miles, 150 kilometers, the plate begins to melt. Magma chambers are produced as a result of this melting, and the magma is lower in density than surrounding rock material. It begins ascending by melting and fracturing its way through the overlying rock material. Magma chambers that is the surface break through to form a volcanic eruption cone. In the early stage of this type of boundary, the cones will be deep beneath the ocean surface but later grow to be higher than sea level. This produces an island chain, which continue development. The islands grow larger, merge, and an elongated landmass is created.
Frictional force affects plate movement, which is called basal drag. In basal drag, large-scale convection currents in the upper mantle are routed through the asthenosphere, so that movement is driven by friction between the asthenosphere and the lithosphere. Earth's gravitational force is also an influence on plate movement. This is called slap suction. In slap suction, the moving plate is influenced by the plate that has been subducted and enters the mantle. The frictional force between the plates and the convection current will pull the plates further into the mantle.
Indonesia consists of three plates, namely the Australian, Pacific, and Eurasian plates. This becomes a problem if the shift in the earth plates change the coordinates. The type of earthquake that occurs in Indonesia is a tectonic earthquake. It is estimated that 1 million earthquakes occurs in 1 year. However, most earthquakes are not detected because they are very weak to record with tools.
The actual vector of motion of a plane move be a function of all the forces acting on the plane. However, the problem is much each process participants in the movement of each plane. The variety of good climates, condition, and the purpose of each plane should make a difference in how much the process actively move the planes. One way to solve this problem is to look at the rate at which each plane is doing work and consider the available evidence for its driving force of this place as far as possible.
Hello everyone, my name is Justin Shanipa from 10 Science 1, and this time I want to explain to you about earth plate. Earth plate is a part of the earth that located at the surface. Earth plate divided into two types. They are major plate and minor plate. Earth has 7 major plates. They are number 1 African plate including African, number 2 Antarctic plate including Antarctica, number 3 Indo-Australian including Indonesian and Australian, number 4 Eurasian plate including Europe and Asian, number 5 North American plate including North American, number 6 South American plate including South American, and number 7 Pacific plate including Pacific Ocean. From number 1 until to number 6, they are named continental plate, or we know it as a land, and the last we call it as a ocean plate. Minor plates created from major plates that have been splitting into a smaller piece because of a tectonical activity. Minor plate including number 1 Indian plate, number 2 Arabic plate, number 3 Caribbean plate, number 4 Juan de Fuca plate, number 5 Cocos plate, number 6 Philippine plate, and number 7 Scotia plate. Okay, that's all about the explanation of Earth plate. Thank you for your attention.
Here I will present the chemical formulas of rocks and minerals. 1. Fluoride GiF2 2. Galena PbS 3. Magnesite MgCO3 4. Magnetite Fa3O4 5. Pyrite FeS2 6. Dolomite GiMgCO3 2 7. Sapphire Al2O3. Thank you.
That is all from our group. Apologies for the mistake we made and thank you for your attention. Goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.